Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our Talks with Walt, as we are calling our readings through the deathbed edition of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. We turn now to Today and the, notice hyphenated, poem number 15 of the 58 of Sands at 70. We're working through these little short poems that are just like little vignettes, little kind of like almost, what would we say in our introductory, bubbles of kind of reflective thought. And here we are now with this one. Again, we're going to be focusing again on America. The love of Whitman's life is his book, and of course his book about the great democracy, America. Now our assumptions are that you have been following our stuff at learnstrong.net, down that left-hand side, Talks with Walt, our playlist. We began with inscriptions and of course celebrations of America and democracy there, up through and including a set of introductory comments to Sands at 70, and we just finished with memories. Now, our Nortons will tell us not much about this other than it was first published in the New York Herald. Again, so many of these poems being published there. April 23rd, 1888. Now, as we go to this poem and as we look at this poem, already we're thinking about hushed be the camps in his use of to-day. The appointed winners in a long-stretched game, the course of time and nations, Egypt, India, Greece, and Rome, the past entire, with all its heroes, histories, arts, experiments, its store of songs, inventions, voyages, teachers, books, garnered for now and thee, to think of it, the heirdom, all converged in thee. Now, it's always interesting to ask, who is the antecedent of the pronoun thee in this poem? Some have actually read this as not so much America, as maybe more Whitman's collection called Leaves of Grass. I'll leave it up to you to kind of figure that out. Notice he does mention books. The appointed winners, appointed will take us back to Song of Myself 45. You'll remember its use there. Winners is used only one time in all of Leaves of Grass. In fact, we got 3 words that get used only one time in all Leaves of Grass, and it's right here. Now, you'll remember, in starting from Pomona, we do have the use of winners with the apostrophe in the S, right? Winners, pealing shouts. But in terms of this word, winners, one time and only one time here. The appointed, it's interesting that it is appointed, right? It will take us to Hegel and, of course, Phenomenology of Spirit in 1807 is the way that Whitman came to his Hegel. In other words, everything is somehow appointed. It's all intentional. It's all declared. History has brought us all here to this moment. In a long stretched game. Now, of course, his use of the word game takes us to Song of Myself 4, right? In and out of the game. You'll remember our use of that phrase and that line when we were studying our Song of Myself. The course of time, notice capitalized, and nations. He'll give us 4, and he'll give us the 4 that in his thinking matters the most. And this takes us, of course, to the great Will Durant and his 11-volume series, Story of Civilization, which I can't recommend highly enough for you guys. It's amazing prose. Notice it's Egypt, then it's India, and then it's Greece and Rome, right? So those 4. The past entire, with all its heroes. Notice now our 4 list. Heroes, histories, arts, experiments, all of that, the stuff of culture, the creation of culture. Its store of, and now we get 5, songs, inventions, there's your technology, voyages, of course that makes us think about all of the Odysseys. And then, interestingly, teachers gets dropped in here. And I told you guys, when we met this idea of Whitman as teacher and how important that was, and then of course Song of Myself 46, 47 to destroy the teacher passage as we talked about it. We're coming back to it one more time. And then of course he mentions the word books, which again makes us think about the next line, garnered, you'll remember this line from Unnamed Lands, garnered for now and thee. And again, are we talking about America or are we talking about Leaves of Grass? And it's wonderful that these two things become almost like, in a certain strange metonymy, they almost become the same thing, America and his collection of books, collection of poems. And then the dash allows him to finish with an exclamation, couple of exclamation points, to think of it, right? Now that's the only time in All Leaves of Grass that phrase gets used. To think of it. The heirdom, and that's the only time that word gets used in All Leaves of Grass. All, he's back to that word one more time. All its heroes, now it's all converged in thee. Converged gets used one and only one time in Leaves of Grass, and it's right here. I find that fascinating. The idea, again, of it all coming together. Remember how I said so much is about hugging and grasping, and now it's converging, which is of course, again, this idea that it all culminates where? Well, obviously in America, that we've seen so many times. And we could argue that it's as well going to be, his view, culminating in this collection of poems that we call Leaves of Grass. At 2a, well, yeah, there it is. That's his message, right? America is the culmination. It is the conversion, the converging of all of history. At 2b, I love the word choice. I love the fact that we're this deep into Leaves of Grass, and we've got three words, winners, heirdom, and converse, all happening only one time in Leaves of Grass, and it's right here, right now. At 3a, I mentioned Hegel's Phenomenology of Spirit, 1807, and I think there was a whole lot of that going on here, no question. And finally, at 3b, what are your thoughts on this one? Do you believe in cultural evolution as Whitman has played that game here in Leaves of Grass, borrowing obviously heavily from thinkers such as Hegel and obviously Emerson? And if you do buy that idea, do you think that America is the kind of natural byproduct of all of this evolution that culminates in this amazing culture that we get to enjoy as Americans, as young Americans, and of course get to enjoy in Leaves of Grass as well? It's an interesting question. Thank you.